बीजेपी ये का स्लोगन है प्राइम मिनिस्टर का कि सबका साथ सबका विश्वास। उसमें तो हिंदुओं का बैंड बज रहा है। स्लोगन होना चाहिए जिसका साथ उसका विकास। जो साथ नहीं दे रहा, जो एक्टिवली चाह रहा है कि हमारी सिविलाइजेशन डिस्ट्रॉय हो और हमारी वे ऑफ लाइफ बदल जाए और कुछ और आ जाए, हम पे कुछ और लॉज लग जाएं, हम जिस चीजों में विश्वास करते हैं वो चीजें हट जाएं, उसका भी आप विकास कर रहे हो। ये तो अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारने वाली बात होगी। सो नीरज, थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग दैट स्लोगन। देयर ही इज, जिसका साथ उसका विकास। The other thing where I again disagree with my good friend and brother Vishnu is that I used to think like him. In fact, a month ago, when someone asked me on television, and I said, look, Hindus are second-class citizens in this country, as Vishnu has said. But both of us are wrong. एक महीना हो गया है. And now, a week ago, there is a clip of mine where I say emphatically with proof that Hindus are not second-class citizens, they are eighth-class citizens. I'll give you the reasons why they're eighth. लेकिन अब वो भी change हो गया है, because yesterday another gentleman, I think Dheeraj his name was, he said, sir, ninth class citizen है, eighth नहीं. And he has given a reason that I have checked through the night, and I am including that. So now I'm going to give you the reasons why Hindus are ninth class citizens in this country. And look at the tragedy. जितने Islamists और leftists हैं, और मैं JNU से हूँ तो मुझे काफी इनके बारे में मैं बहुत अच्छी तरह जानता हूं। देश है कि ये तो हिंदू राष्ट्र बन गया है, हिंदू। अरे भाई, ऐसा कौन सा राष्ट्र है हिंदू जहां पे हिंदूज आर एक्टिवली डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड अगेंस्ट? ये कैसा हिंदू राष्ट्र? आप किसी मुस्लिम राष्ट्र को जानते हो जहां पे मुस्लिम्स आर एक्टिवली डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड अगेंस्ट? इस सऊदी अरेबिया में मुस्लिम्स के अगेंस्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हो रहा है। If we want to be a Hindu Rashtra, then we should learn from a Muslim Rashtra or some other religion or Israel. Can you give me one example in this country where Muslims are discriminated against? I seriously can't, and I'm trying to be objective here. अगर Muslims के against discrimination है, मुझे बताओ, constitutionally बताओ, legally बताओ, कोई है ही नहीं ऐसा। लेकिन Hindus के against civilizational resistance, तभी मैं कह रहा हूं कि अब ये लोगों को बहुत बुरी लगेगी, but it has to come from the top down. And I'll give you the examples. When Jaggi said each of our Hindus or Indian एक रुपया ही दें, लेकिन दें, उससे राइज होगा। To that I say, एक एक रुपया जुटाने से क्या होगा? When this government has actively usurped and is preventing 7 lakh crores being given to Hindus through temples every year. 7 lakh crores. Jaggi, how many Hindus are you going to accost and say, please give 1 rupee? Will they amount to 7 lakh crores? They won't. So what comes from the top down can never be the same as what comes from the bottom up. Yes, what comes from the bottom up is important, and there are people like Vishnu who are doing this. But you watch me, I don't want to preempt this, and my heart would break, but आगे इतनी ज़्यादा आग का दरिया है विष्णु के लिए, you don't even know. इतना आग का दरिया है. I hope and pray he succeeds, but the odds are heavily stacked against him. Heavily. Not just from judiciary. इसने तो कार्बन डेटिंग मांगी भी नहीं थी. जज ने पढ़ा नहीं, जो इसने रिक्वेस्ट किया वो जज ने पढ़ा ही नहीं, डिनाई कर दिया. ASI को बुलाया नहीं एज एक्सपर्ट. तो इसमें ये फ्रॉम द बॉटम अप लोग क्या करें? What do you do? This has to be from the top down. And here, let me give you the reasons one by one. Let me give you the reasons why, like in that meme, every time something good happens to Hindus, BJP tries to take credit and slips in through the bamboo and say कि मेरे को भी garland कर लो. Let me give you these 9 reasons. And then you will realize कि far from being a Hindu Rashtra, this is an Islamic Republic of India. Control of Hindu temples, I've already talked about it. It's not just that the government is actively controlling our Hindu temples through an act and a legislation that the Congress overturned in 1959 the Supreme Court legislation. तो कांग्रेस ने बहुत कुछ किया है हमें पता नहीं है, मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट को तो ओवरटर्न ऐसे करते हैं ऐसे कि you know, but this government has taken more control of temples than the previous government, your Hindu Rashtra government. Okay, it is not just that it is controlling what the priest should do, what should not do, or the places of worship. No. What really matters is the money that the Hindu temples can generate. That is being controlled. The audit, when you talk to T.R. Ramesh, he is the one, just like Vishnu, he is doing a yeoman's job for our civilization. This is not a Hindu issue. How is this a Hindu issue? This is a civilizational issue. And then you realize that the government decides how much rent you will take from the land that a temple controls. And right now, it is ordering the temples to take a fraction of the rent that it is capable of taking. The loss is of 7 lakh crores, Jaggi. It is astounding. This is happening right before our eyes. And what happens when this government, through the auspices of the Prime Minister, goes and opens a corridor which is 300 crores, it spent 300 crores, or goes to Ujjain and 360 crores. Everyone is so happy. Dekho, civilized, dekho, kaun aaya. Civilizational renaissance ho rahi hai. That is a monthly hundi collection of Tirupati temple. So I ask you a question. Gloating that the government is spending so much on Hindu renaissance, if you left it to the Hindu temples, do you think the Tirupati would not give 300 crores to give that Kashi Vishwanath corridor? Tirupati will give 3,000 crores. And yet people are praising this government. So मेरी समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये, but this is a game, and you have to realize it. You have to appreciate it. You have to appreciate the sleight of hand, the fiendishness of somebody coming in the end to take the credit. That was the first one. Number two, I don't want to talk too much on this, Places of Worship Act. Never before in the history of any independent nation or democracy has such a draconian act not only been passed, but is being legislated and acted upon. How can you deny 1 billion people their legitimate right to legally take back what is there? I cannot believe that we call this a land of justice. How is it possible that Kashi or Mathura or thousands of temples that have been destroyed and mosques built on them, and somebody legally wants to take back those control of those temples, and he's being denied कि नहीं, जो 15th August 1947 से पहले हुआ था वो स्टेटस को रहेगा. Why? I don't understand. And the same leftists who teach us this talk about correcting historical injustices. They praise when roads and statues of the racist people or oppressors, King Leopold, they are brought down illegally. Then they praise. They are clapping. Belgium में, चर्चिल का स्टैच्यू यूके में, सिसिल रोड्स का ऑक्सफोर्ड में, पिज़ारो का मेक्सिको में. All these tormentors, their statues, their institutions are being brought down. The left is hailing that. Illegally brought down, not legally, illegally. लेकिन यहाँ पे you can't even approach the court. Is this Hindu Rashtra? मतलब मजाक है. मुझसे ड्राफ्ट करवा देते, मैं कर देता. Okay, then you have the Kashmiri Hindu refugees. Now this is the most painful one. In which country would you have, when you talk of this country already having become Hindu Rashtra, 7 lakh of Hindus being denied the right to passage of their own land, ethnically cleansed, raped, murdered, pillaged, driven out for 30 years. And Supreme Court says we are not going to open the cases of atrocities because too much time has elapsed. So you are calibrating justice according to the time elapsed. By that logic, 1984 के cases भी हटाइए फिर आप. वो तो 1989 से पहले हुए थे. क्या logic है ये? But इसमें, as I said yesterday, Kashmiri Hindus may be Jews, but unfortunately India is not Israel. गलती किसकी है? State की नहीं है. 40,000 रोहिंग्या सेटल हो गए कश्मीर में, लेकिन 1,500 कश्मीरी हिंदू सेटल नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. ये हिंदू राष्ट्र है. नंबर 4, वक्फ एक्ट. इसमें आंखें जो मेरी रियली खोली हैं वो विष्णु ने खोली हैं. 1995 में वक्फ एक्ट आया. इससे ज्यादा ड्रैकोनियन सिर्फ 1991 प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट. इन दोनों में कंपटीशन चल रहा है, कौन ज्यादा ड्रैकोनियन है. इट्स क्रेजी. 70% ऑफ दिल्ली इज सेट टू बी अंडर वक्फ कंट्रोल. मैंने तो मजाक मजाक में कहा था कि टाइम स्टूडियो में जब मैं ये बोल रहा था इस पे, कि मैंने कहा ये तो नहीं है वक्फ में, वो निकला वक्फ एक्ट का. When I tweeted it, किसी ने मजाक में कहा सर ये जो सेंट्रल विस्टा है ये वो वक्फ बोर्ड का है. सेंट्रल विस्टा पे एक मस्जिद है जो वक्फ बोर्ड ने कंट्रोल किया, वो पूरा लैंड राजपथ इज वक्फ कंट्रोल. क्या चल रहा है ये? एंड इट इज सो ड्रैकोनियन, दे विल यूसर्प योर लैंड. यू कांट इवन गो टू द कोर्ट. अभी हाल ही में जजमेंट आई कि यू कैन गो टू द कोर्ट. उससे पहले 40 साल, ये 30 साल पहले यू कुडंट इवन गो टू द कोर्ट. दीज आर द पावर्स आर ड्रैकोनियन. कमिश्नर आ सकता है आपका इंस्पेक्ट करने के लिए. एक ऐसा टेंपल जो कि इस्लाम के आने से 100 साल पहले बना था, वो वक्फ बोर्ड कह रहा है हमारे लैंड में. ये हिंदू राष्ट्र का लॉजिक है. नंबर 5, शबरीमला. नहीं, माइनॉरिटी स्ट्रांग नहीं है, मेजॉरिटी वीक है. If you are jealous of somebody else's unity, you are divided.
आनंद,
टाइम हो गया, अभी तो 4 ही हुए हैं.
हाँ. 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. I'll ask the audience, do they want? ये मेरा ब्रह्मास्त्र है ये राहुल. शबरीमला जजमेंट. अब इसमें आप ये देखिए. यस सर, प्लीज.
To find out which are going to pay out to who. That is what we request from this speaker's audience.
Sir, while I
Partly agree with you. Let me also say this, as I corrected myself and Vishnu ji, even today when they say we are second-class citizens, no, I'm giving you proof. And hopefully this has educated me. That's why I'm trying to say. So I don't think we knew all this. At least I didn't know all this. You have the Shabrimala judgment. Now here, you look at the irony of it. Supreme Court ruled that even menstruating women would be allowed because it was discrimination against them. And even my eyes were opened by another blistering force of nature isn't here amongst us, Jesai, but he is in our thoughts. That should not be misconstrued. But the fact of the matter is this was perceived discrimination. There are many Hindu temples where men are not allowed. There are many Shabrimala temples where women are allowed. This was only the case because the deity had desired so. But Supreme Court did not see this thing. Supreme Court will not rule for women, Catholic women being ordained as priests. They are not. They cannot be. Catholic women cannot be, but that is not discrimination. Muslim women cannot enter the sanctum sanctorum of mosque, but that is not discrimination. Hindus के केस में जो perceived discrimination है, जो है नहीं, उस पे आगे कूद पड़े. This is another. RTE Act. This is so painful, and this is where I bring in the gentleman who came and told to me, sir, आपको Article 28 और Article 30 के बारे में पता है. RTE is right to education is so discriminatory against Hindus, it is going to kill all the education that people want to bestow, Hindus want to their future generation. Government and Swarajya has a beautiful article by Nair on this. Even Anant has written on this. Now blatant discrimination. And why? Because Article 28 says no religion instruction shall be provided in any educational institution wholly maintained out of state funds. UP and Assam collectively are running 1300 madrasas. वो नहीं कर रहे. State funding नहीं है वो. मदरसा में क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं? वेदास पढ़ा रहे हैं. Yeah, there is already a competition between कौन सबसे पहले सर तन से जुदा होगा. Please don't encourage that. Article 31 of the Constitution states, and I quote, all minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institution of their choice. Minorities can, majorities can't. The Indian government will determine the quota of the Hindu schools, 25%. It will dictate. Teachers cannot be through religious affiliation, government will dictate. This is not discrimination. ये हिंदू राष्ट्र में हो रहा है. Number 7, communal violence bill, thank God, ये draft में ही रहा, but this would have come had UPA come again. इसमें I give credit to Modi ji that at least this ये bill नहीं आया, so अल्लाह का लाख लाख शुक्र है. क्योंकि भले ही मेरे एक हाथ में कंप्यूटर है, दूसरे में कुरान है, so that is why. You know what this entailed? That in condition of any communal riot, the majority will be responsible. ये कहाँ का natural justice है? It's unbelievable. Kashmir में the majority are the Muslims, the minority are the Hindus. But according to this definition, if there was a riot in Kashmir Valley, Hindus would have been arrested because they are the majority. It's crazy. And very quickly coming to article, the 8th reason, the final reason. Because I have clubbed, वो 9th वाला मैंने RT में ही क्लब कर दिया, वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के उन्होंने आर्टिकल्स बताए थे, तो अभी भी 8 ही है, कुछ और हो आप मुझे बता दीजिएगा. Roads, institutions, naming on barbarians. Now this really, and Vikram is here and we've had this amazing discussions on, this is the most painful one. Meenakshi ji is here. बाकी सारे लीगल हैं, चेंज हो सकते हैं, लेकिन ये मेंटालिटी कैसे चेंज होगी? अभी भी आप टीपू को यूलोजाइजिंग टीपू जयंती कर रहे हैं, औरंगजेब को आप कुछ कह नहीं सकते, राइट्स हो जाएंगी. 4.9 मिलियन हिंदूज वर किल्ड. ठीक है. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज यूलोजाइजिंग सेंट फ्रांसिस जेवियर. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज यूलोजाइजिंग चिश्ती. They wanted Hinduism, Hindus, India destroyed. Lock, stock and barrel. And yet we have our roads named on them. And if we want to remove those road names, then those Velcro fraud historians say, ki, nahi, you can't do that. So what I'm saying is, and I end here, without taking my 30 seconds, just 10 seconds, the fact of the matter is that we are a strange ironical situation where people who call this a Hindu Rashtra, there are 8 legitimate bona fide watertight reasons where Hindus are being actively discriminated against. ये कैसा हिंदू राष्ट्र है जहां पे हिंदूज का बैंड बज रहा है? Thank you so much.